Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Talking Movies. My name's Josh.
I'm Clay.
I'm Randall.
I'm Chris.
And today we're talking about Clay's pick this week. This was Spike Lee's 2002 film, The 25th Hour.
I wanna hold you, but my hands are tied.
Years from now, you gather your family together, you tell them the whole story. Who you are, where you come from. And then you ask them if they know how lucky they are to be there.
This will be the best night of my life. Best night of my life.
What is this movie about, Clay?
This guy, I guess he's having a little personal crisis and a going away party with all of his friends before he goes to prison, I think for 7 years or something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And he's trying to like understand what happened and how he got pinched and who he can trust and what his next moves are and how his family's going to deal with it. It's a drama.
Mhm.
It's an older movie. I saw it way back in the day, and I was thinking I really wanted to watch again. It was super hard to find, like on disc, right? I thought for sure they'd have like a Blu-ray or a 4K, but it seems like it's sort of just faded off into obscurity. And there's probably some reasons why for that. After watching the movie, it doesn't sort of fit our modern acceptance levels, probably. But I'm sure we can talk about it. And that's the gist of it. I mean, what did you guys think about
Oh, dude, I thought what you just said probably 7 times in this movie. I was like, oh, this shit wouldn't fly today, man. This movie would be, nobody would be like, I mean, film people would be like, no, it's a good story. And people that have been in that kind of life might be like, yeah, I get it. But like general audiences would just kind of be like, yeah, I don't think they would understand it. I think they would be very bored. And I think that there'd be a lot of people like very bothered by two of the relationships in the movie. There's two relationships in that movie that would bother a lot of people, and one of those is the main I don't know what to call him, antagonist, whatever, man, the fucking
Protagonist.
I guess, Edward Norton's character. And
Mm-hmm.
I saw
And
this
then
movie a
there's
long
the-
time ago. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Then there's the meltdown scene. That doesn't quite work either. But
Which
Oh,
one?
the fuck you
in the
scene?
mirror. Yeah. That one's
Oh.
pretty,
That's the best scene in the whole movie because it's hilarious,
I
dude.
think so, too.
I
I think
love
so,
that
too.
shit. That movie is that part is hilarious. I've seen this movie probably, I don't know, 6 or 7 times. I like it. I've
Oh,
seen
wow.
it a lot. Yeah, I've seen the movie. I mean, I used to be a big ass Edward Norton fan, and then I'm also still a big fan of what's her name?
Rosario Dawson?
Yes.
Oh, Rosario, not Anna Paquin.
No, Rosario Dawson.
No.
I knew what he meant. Yeah,
Yeah.
I knew he wasn't Anna Paquin.
Rosario Dawson, she's always been like, ever since I watched Kids, I was like, oh shit, that chick's rad. And then she just like stayed like cool. She's a cool chick. She's in cool movies. She does cool parts typically. And then I also thought I like her face. She's pretty interesting looking. But I like this movie. When I watched it on I guess it was just Prime, but I rented it. Super high quality picture. I was a little surprised. Had a lot of film grain though, which I personally like, and I really enjoyed like visually this movie. But boy, I tell you, I haven't watched it in probably, I don't know, since before I met Carissa. And yeah, there's a lot that I was like, oh man, I bet if I hadn't known you guys and I just threw this back on and we had never been friends, I probably would have loved it again. But I still enjoyed it. Boy, there's some stuff wrong with this movie, man. The editing in this movie is fucking ass, dude. Or
I
at least
can relate, man.
Oh,
I have
my
a
goodness, dude.
very similar experience. Very similar. I agree with you wholeheartedly on the Rosario. That was the first time I ever saw her was in Kids, and she was young and cute then, and it's like I watched her grow up. So
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
I
some.
remember.
Go ahead.
I
I'm sorry.
I
Chris.
remember renting this from Blockbuster back in the day. I mean, of course, post 9/11, New York. I mean, we can maybe discuss that a little more later. But yeah, like I didn't remember a lot of the movies. Like I know I've seen this. I was a big Edward Norton fan too, so I mean I remember watching American History X and this, and I think there's
Fight Club and
Fight Club, yeah.
But yeah, when it got to the like "fuck you" in the mirror scene, I go, oh yeah, I remember this.
It's kind of the scene of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of like come and gone out of the just public a little bit. Like I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure I've seen it pop up on YouTube Shorts,
TikTok or something. Yeah.
yeah. I think it's kind of gone on and off the the meme circuit, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I mean, I think that was really the only thing I kind of didn't like about the movie was that just feels very oddly placed and very on the nose. And also just like the weird, like floaty tracking shots of some of the characters. I thought that was really just dumb. And
Oh, you haven't seen very many Spike Lee movies. That is a Spike Lee shot. He does that in basically every movie.
Yeah, this is one of the few.
Yeah.
What is the shot? What is it
So
look like?
so I believe the actors are actually standing on like a Segway or something. They're like floating.
They're on
like
yeah.
Yeah, so it's like a locked shot with the camera either in front of them or behind them, and they're like it looks like they're floating through the space. You know,
they early shots were on a little trolley thing, and they would pull them on a It was always like knees and up. You didn't see their feet. Yeah, they would just pull them, and they would be like standing still, going through like a party, and they would just be like floating around.
I want to say they do that in Requiem for a Dream a bunch of times.
A
few times.
I'm almost positive that's where I saw that little trick thing was in those. My friends used to love that movie. I can't. I need to rewatch it, see if I can make it through it. But
yeah, it's been a while since I've seen that one too. But yeah, like I mean, I don't know. It wasn't bad, but it just like I don't know, just made it look very dated. I think
2002.
Okay, I like that
already
though.
Kind of dated.
I like that it looks dated because I like time capsule movies sometimes. Like I like 90s effects sometimes. I like early 2000s bad digital effects sometimes. Like depends, man. But
yeah,
Josh, you might know the answer to this. So is another thing that I was seeing that the one thing that drove me crazy was like there was like these. It was like a visual record skip. It would be like
there's a bunch of weird jump cuts in it.
Fucking hated that, dude. Outside of that. That was the only editing thing I had an issue with.
Yeah.
I really hated that, man. It drove me nuts.
It was bugging me too a little bit. I think that is just like you were saying, time capsule. It's sort of just like a 2000s editing style. It's sort of a loose.
Isn't that weird? That was like a thing.
Yeah. I'm glad it's gone. But what I like this movie a lot.
Yeah, I did too. I didn't necessarily mean to throw out my dislikes immediately, but I did like the movie.
Yeah,
I'll put that out there.
And I even liked the dated parts of it, which I generally don't. It's kind of like what Randy was just saying. I like the time capsule aspect of it. It feels now like watching a period piece, and the fact that it's like so tied into like immediate post 9/11 like gives you a moment in time that we'll never see again. Like it's a very like specific special movie in that way. I thought that was really cool. It was the first like major film to shoot in New York after 9/11. Yeah,
dude, what about the cast of this movie being just a fucking banger of a cast, dude? I like Mary Pepper, but it's got Philip Seymour Hoffman. It's got Edward Norton, Rosario Dawson. What's his dad's name?
Brian Cox.
Brian Cox, dude. Like, man, and it's just and look, I used to hang around with like some shithead people, like real just seedy ass types, and I was probably just as bad or worse than some of them. But like, there's a lot of this movie where I remember being like, oh yeah, that's like so and so. Oh yeah, that's like my dude, this guy. Oh yeah. Oh, I've been in that situation before. And I think that's what I liked about it was that it reminded me of me and my people, but just Southern. You know what I'm saying? We were just down here, not up in New York. But like, there's just so many. Like when he drives around in the car at the very beginning and he gets the dog.
I love that car,
bro.
Man.
Well, the car was made fucking dick hard, bro. But like the dude, they don't make cars like that no more, man. That shit doesn't exist, dude. So like. But I remember
cyber trucks,
right? Oh my goodness, dude! Douche. Thanks, Elon. But so my friend, I remember I don't know what it was we were picking up, but we stopped, and my friend was driving one of the more modern Dodge Challengers, and my friend dressed kind of like Edward Norton was dressed in this. He had like a longer, like leather kind of coat and like slacks and a button down, and he had like bandanas, bucket. You could tell like he was trying to look nice, but he didn't know how to because he's a thug. And so like, and I'm wearing, you know, basketball shorts and a t-shirt and fucking slides. We stopped and we were talking about something, man, but it just reminded me of these like little blips of my life. And, you know, there's a lot of familiarity within like Edward Norton's character. Like, I feel like I knew a lot of people that are like going up to go to prison for something that wasn't crazy bad. 7 years isn't like an insane time. Drug charges mostly. It wasn't no violent robbery, nothing like that. And I remember a lot of my friends like crying and being like, "What did I do, man? I'm fucking my whole." I remember that exact, and then like me freaking out for them, and then getting arrested a couple of times, thinking that's what's going to happen to me, and like really honestly just falling apart emotionally, like really being like, "Oh no, I thought this shit was a game. It is not a game. These motherfuckers do not care about me." You know what I'm saying? Like the police. And it's just a super familiar feeling that I was getting from my 20s. And while I like to distance myself from that part of my life, it is kind of cool to have like a way to remember it that is not going out and doing something stupid. I can just watch a movie and be like, "Oh shit, man, that's back in the day, bro."
Yeah.
I thought the characters were super relatable too, man. I mean, you know, I like Barry Pepper in this movie because he's a stockbroker and he's got a huge position on, and his boss comes over and chews his ass. I'm like, God, I love that. Like, that is the industry. Like, on the floor,
I would be in jail.
Your boss coming and sticking his wiener in your face and freaking yelling at you, and you're like, all right, man, you know.
He just completely ignores him.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You going to the game tonight?" And I'm like, "Whoa, what? Huh? What was the switch up?"
He'd get fired for sure. But it's super relatable. I liked it a lot. And then like the playground scene, you know, where he meets
oh my god,
Rosario Dawson.
Yeah, what's her Natural.
Yeah.
Okay, that was actually worse than the editing, but
like
I kind of like
he's walking the dog. He sees her swinging on the playground smoking a cigarette, and you're kind of like, she's probably 18, and you know, he just goes for it. And I'm like, man, I don't know if this is gonna fly today. Like, this was it's a good thing it was Spike Lee and it was 2002 and all.
If that was a Tarantino flick, there people would have rioted. But it had that girl in it from some Tarantino stuff. She's been in some of his stuff. She was in Death Proof.
Rosario.
The girl that was, her too, but the girl that was sitting next to her, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Wait, who was sitting next to her?
That girl. Hold on, give me a second.
And then Anna Paquin's plays like a young lady in this. I think she's in college though.
No, she was 17. She was a high school student.
Yeah, she was definitely.
Shit, that's high school.
It was a Catholic school.
High school. What kind of?
Like private school.
Yeah.
That was his whole jam, is that she was a 17-year-old.
Yeah, because like when Edward Norton walks into the classroom, like it definitely gives more college vibes than like.
Well, no, it gave me private school vibes. I had a friend that went to a school like that over in Westheimer and Montrose.
Yeah, some uppity prep school. So like I immediately thought college, but like as you find out, like, oh, okay, this is what we're doing.
Yeah, dude, Vanessa Verlito. She was the girl sitting on he was her best friend, that girl that was sitting with her. She's in Death Proof too.
Okay.
Oh shit.
Yeah, how weird is that? That's actually very weird.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
But so I guess there's two underage, technically borderline underage, like kind of.
That's what I was saying. There's two relationships in this movie that wouldn't fly today. That's exactly what I was talking about. They're both like that.
Yeah. I mean, time has passed, and Rosario Dawson is past 18, but you know.
Yeah, I didn't exactly buy her as an 18-year-old in that scene either. But
I mean,
so what's up with that? Why would he choose to do what? Like, what is he trying to show there? I really struggled when I was writing the review. I was like, what is he saying? Like, it's okay in some certain circumstances, or was it just the climate of the times? It didn't matter. Or...
You know, Spike Lee. For one thing, Spike didn't write this movie. This is based off of a novel.
Yeah.
So I was thinking a long time after I watched this movie, trying to like think of some sort of allegorical meaning behind a lot of this stuff, and I just don't think there really is much.
Thank you.
I really think it is like a pretty straightforward, just like moral
day in the life, dude.
Yeah, just a character study, moral, tale Like it is like asking questions about like, is this stuff okay? But it's not really like trying to pose any answers or like really trying to pose any metaphors or anything. I
Well,
don't think.
I'll have the hot take here, and I'll just say it, man. Most people behave that way. They just don't want to say it in public, man. If you take people's behavior in private, take people's
Yeah.
behavior off of the internet, it is not usually what they represent online.
Yeah, I
And
agree with
it's
that.
not weird for like a 22-year-old guy to be hitting on a 17-year-old girl. Gross, that's up to you. I don't have anything in common with a high school kid. But like, when I was 25 and I went out with my friends and there was 17, 18-year-old girls there, did we even think to ask them for their fucking ID? No. So like, it's ludicrous for me to hear people on the internet go, 23, you're dating an 18-year-old. That's crazy. I'm like, bro, you're so out of touch with reality, man. Like,
it's just raw and messy, that's reality.
Especially when you're like young, like back then, things were even more different because there wasn't smartphones and stuff. So like none of this stuff was talked about. So like, was it right or wrong? I don't know. It was just accepted more back then. Like,
I like that a bit because he walks into the school to specifically talk to Philip Seymour Hoffman because they don't have cell phones.
Right.
He's like, hey, come to my party tonight. And I realized that I watched it just again just now, and I was like, oh snap, he had to go see him because
I thought of that too. He brings the dog and everything in there too.
Yeah.
Like
I like when he's pointing out his record and the lady's like, no, it was broken. And he's like, motherfucker. You can just see that was like a point of pride for him. And he's like, wait, really? This record, and he was all like kind of bummed out. But I like this movie, man. It's good. Edward Norton's a fucking beast, bro.
It's tough to like root for Edward Norton though, because like
really,
he's, well, so you want to, right? But at the same time, you sort of see him changing on screen. Like I feel like the mirror scene where he may have been referencing like all his attitudes and feelings towards these people, and then he realizes like, hey, this is the real Montgomery Brogren. Like, I need to change who I am. And that's why he's like, oh, fuck you. So I don't know, like he's having a crisis, right? Because he's going to prison. So maybe he's like looking at himself and analyzing all of his thoughts and feelings. I don't know. I mean, it could go deeper is what I'm saying.
I didn't think it was that deep at all. I thought he was just scared and he's going to prison. He's freaking out, man. I've had about 5 good friends of mine go to prison. They all acted like that. They're okay until like the day before. I've been to like, I don't know, 2 or 3 parties like that, but I've had like a few friends, like more than that. I've had like probably 5 or 6 that have gone to prison, and it's like they're fine. And then like the day before, you'll see what a grown man really looks like when they're scared, because
all
like
cracks,
dude, all of a sudden, dude, they're like sitting there shaking real bad. And you're like, man, you good, dude? You're like, man, yeah, I'm fine. I'll be fine. And it's like the whole thing where the guys like go inside and the first dude that you don't think has an association with anybody, fuck them up. That is not a joke. Like that is so realistic. Like, I've never been to prison, but I've been around plenty of people that have, and it's not like you just walk in and start fighting people. That's unrealistic. But like, protecting yourself and setting an example is pretty important to my understanding. But I think he was just freaking out, and I think that this was I don't know. I don't understand the mirror scene, but I understand what it was saying. It was basically turning the mirror on all these people that are like, you think of them in a certain way, but they're all just kind of shitheads. Like they're all shit.
Like you said,
everybody's
like
shitheads.
We all kind of think that at some point in time in our lives, like, oh fuck, those specific people and like, I don't care who you are, like you've had some not so great thoughts like that. So that's what I'm saying, is maybe his freak out is a moment of introspection where he's analyzing his thoughts, his behaviors, his attitudes towards people. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's I mean, he's trying to blame his problems on every other thing.
That's interesting.
That's what I thought. That's what I was getting at.
But I mean, he could like kind of does like call his own bullshit out at the end of the quote. I don't remember exactly what he said, but I mean, even at the very end of that scene, he kind of like backs off of it a little bit.
That's a good scene.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that the obviously the World Trade Center stuff is not in the novel, but that sort of just adds like a whole, like everyone is sort of a raw nerve. Like the whole movie feels like a big,
everybody's
like
on edge.
Everybody is, exactly. Everyone is a little bit heightened, and it sort of just fits the whole like mood of the movie. Like everyone is just a little bit fucked
It does fit the mood of it very well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
man.
and it's just this
Think about
looming
that.
presence in the background, and the Edward Norton's whole situation is just like a microcosm of that, what everyone is feeling a little bit,
You know,
what I thought was really cool.
I was saying they even go to the stockbroker guy's apartment and Philip Seymour Hoffman, and they're just looking out the window.
Yeah,
and it's just
Ground Zero.
Yeah, it's where freaking World Trade Centers were.
That's freaking nuts, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the last thing I'll say about the. Sorry, Josh.
No, go ahead.
It was the last thing I'll say about the mirror scene. I was thinking while I was watching it that it didn't really fit. Like Josh said earlier, I think it was Josh. Somebody said that no, it was Chris. That said he didn't really care for it because it doesn't really fit. But I was thinking while I was watching it, because I paused it for a second and was like, just kind of sitting there, and I like rewound it. I rewatched it a little bit, rewound it a little bit to kind of start back over. And I was thinking that maybe it was just an opportunity to like talk some shit in a way that you can talk some shit and point out things that are honestly pretty accurate. Like if you think about that, nothing that he said was necessarily actually wrong. Now, good and wrong is socially wrong, different conversation. Right. But like, I think that maybe it was just something that was exactly. Is that okay? You said, have you read the book, Josh?
No, I haven't read the book.
Oh, you haven't read the book. Okay. I would like to. I wonder if that type of dialogue, like a scene like that or chapter or something, is in the book.
I know. So there was a little making of thing on the DVDs that I watched, and they that scene is in the book.
Okay.
And originally, like when Spike read the script, that scene wasn't even in the script. He went and read the book. He's like, "Where is that scene at? We got to put that back in." They had like developed it and
okay.
like
wow,
moved it out.
I'm probably very wrong then.
Yeah, so he was like, "No, this is important. We need to put this back in here."
Or maybe that's why he wanted to put it back in, because he was like, "Yeah, it's kind of accurate, and we can shine a light on some people's behavior, and not get questioned about it."
Yeah, oddly poetic too. Like if you listen to it, it has a certain, he's
rhythm.
Reading it. Yeah. It's good, man. I don't know.
I like it. Yeah. And it sort of mirrors the end too. You see all those characters that pop up through in that montage back at the end too. As he's driving away. I thought that was pretty cool. Very just like stylistically. Like I don't always love Spike Lee. I'm sort of like 50-50 on his stuff, but I tend to lean towards liking him just because he has such a strong voice and style. Like he's a real filmmaker.
I was gonna say like, oh, this is Spike Lee's like 6th movie or whatever. I started looking through
like 17th.
Bro, I started looking through his catalog. I was like, God, this guy is like Takashi Miike or something.
Made a movie a year for like 20 years. Yeah,
this volume of music videos, movies, documentaries, just like all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
I haven't seen very many of his movies, so maybe that's why the fuck you scene kind of caught me off guard a little bit, because it did just feel misplaced. I do think it felt misplaced, but I didn't mind the intention behind it. It just, I don't know, it just feels a little corny to me. And like you said, bringing them back at the end, like, I mean,
maybe it was a little shoehorned in there. Yeah,
I get it, but I don't know.
Dude, I don't like this dude's filmography at all. I don't think. I'm like looking through it, and I'm like,
yeah.
But are you gonna look at my Irish ass and be like, man, Spike Lee makes movies for you? Nope, I don't think so.
I think Do the Right Thing is truly a great movie. I think.
No, there's some pretty good ones in here. Have you seen Black Klansman? That was a pretty good movie.
Black Klansman's really good, I think.
Inside Man was probably my favorite, though.
Inside Man's good.
I didn't even know that was his movie. I was like, oh shit, okay.
Malcolm X is a really great movie too. That's a legit movie.
I think I'm right about this anyways, but I caught that Edward Norton, I think he was 31 in this movie, which I thought was just funny.
Okay.
So Anna Paquin, Paquin, whatever her name is, Paquin.
Anna Paquin?
I mean, I am not a fan of her. Yeah. She's like not good.
I was pretty crazy about her in or was it what's the vampire show? True Blood.
Oh man,
True Blood. And then I started watching that show about midway through season 2. They started introducing all these other freaks. I was like, man, I wanted it to be a vampire show, so I quit watching that.
I've never watched an episode of True Blood, and I would like to just pat myself on the back for that.
Yeah, me too.
It was
Anna Paquin as Rogue was like cool for about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
She's such a terrible fucking actor, though. Like, even I don't like that. Like, I'm like, she's a bad actor, dude. Yeah. And in this movie, her acting was so bad that I was like, man, maybe she just is somebody that just picked out of somewhere and like, here, high school kid, come over here.
Especially when you put her next to Philip Seymour Hoffman, it's like, it's so night and day.
That's a valid point, dude.
Like,
you put her next to one of the goats, and you're like, here, kid.
Like one of the greatest actors of all time. No,
I watched True Blood. I think watched probably most of it, but it was like a Louisiana thing, so I mean, it was kind of big.
Oh, is it based in Louisiana?
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense. Though if it was based in Houston, I probably would have watched it.
Yeah, it was big in the Louisiana circles. But like Clay said, like the first season, like okay, like this is kind of interesting. It's bad, but yeah, it's dumb and silly and campy. But yeah, after another season, like it just all kind of goes down the tubes. But
dude, one of the things that I liked about this movie. Sorry, Chris, I don't mean to jump back over to the film.
No,
how dare you?
No, I wasn't trying to be like rude and ignore. I wasn't ignoring what he was saying. I was listening to him.
Then we got to talk about True Blood for 10 more minutes.
I wanted to talk about True Blood.
Suki, bring me
Suki. There was so many things in this movie that happened, like little bitty things. I couldn't even begin to name them all, but like little things that happened between Edward Norton and Rosario Dawson that I just felt like it reminded me of me and my wife.
Yeah,
you know, and I don't know, man. This movie is awesome. The characters in the movie are just so familiar to me. Like, I know somebody that is just like most of, like, even Philip Seymour Hoffman, dude, that poor bastard. I felt so bad for that dude. He's just like this very clearly unattractive, frumpy teacher that's getting absolutely taken advantage of by this girl. And she's just a shithead, dude.
Just give her an A. Everybody
Bro,
does.
I was like,
Give
her. I was like, get that dome shot, give her an A, and then just, you know, there's no cameras, dude. Back then, bro, like, what are you doing? There's no cameras or nothing. There's no smartphones, bro. If you only knew how much you can't do this shit in 5 more years, buddy, you'd have taken advantage of it.
Fucking read some A+ papers from people's college.
The opinions of Randall Patty.
Yeah.
Man, I just like, she was gonna fuck that dude one way or another. May as well get something out of it
for sure. She would have messed up his life. Anyway.
I was literally out loud talking. I know I've already seen this, but don't kiss her. Die still does it. Every time I watch it, he kisses her. Oh, you dumb ass idiot! And he goes over and tells him
the look, just like you're.
Bro,
what was that? She looks totally confused, but that's how she's supposed to look because
she's a manipulative little shit, dude.
She doesn't even know what she's doing. I think like she does, but she doesn't. Like she's like, really?
Yeah, maybe.
Oblivious to her own like and shit. That wouldn't surprise me. I knew people like that too.
Yeah, that's what I took it as. That she really didn't want anything to do with him, but she just
being flirty and shit.
Putting it out there because that's what she does.
Exactly.
I mean, she's got that nice like super awesome
little henna thing on her stomach. Dude, whenever she was standing there shaking her stomach, I was like, okay, if you could just take her face out of it, I'm good. Like, dude, like midriff. I tuned that shit out the moment she came on screen, bro. I was like, huh? What? Can't hear you. But no, dude, you can't fuck with Rosario Dawson, bro. Anna Paquin, bro. What?
Oh yeah.
And then at the end when she's in those pants, dude, and she's like leaned up on Edward Norton, he like picks her up. I was just like, my goodness, dude. How anybody could look at her and be like, nah, it just doesn't make no sense to me.
I agreed.
Oh, when she goes in that fucking dress, dude. I was like, oh my goodness,
dress, yeah,
bro. Yeah. She's like, boom, 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 boom. Every time she takes her breath,
her
it's
on the playground.
Hey, I finally don't have the wildest shit that we've said on the podcast.
This episode's not coming out.
You win.
For all of our sake.
That was awesome.
So what about when he gets his ass kicked at the end? What about that shit? That was when like I was watching it, I was into it, I was really, really digging it, and I was like, and then I was like, oh shit, here it comes. And it was just so overly dramatic to me. The crying, the freaking, Barry Pepper, he's trying to provoke him and he melts down and beats his ass.
Oh, dude, it was so good. It was so bad, but so good. Like, that was so 2001, man. That shit was awesome. He's like, I fucking love you, smack, smack. And you're like, oh, stop. You fucking just suck his dick, man. Get it over with. Like, bro, no, I mean, look, when he's folding his shit up and putting it on the bench, when the very first time I saw it, I was like, oh, he's getting ready to get fucking smashed, bro. And then he starts talking shit. And in my head, I thought, like, oh, just accuse him of fucking your gal. And then he does it. I was like, oh, shit, it's really going to happen. And I was like, yeah, that would make me mad, too. I might punch you in the fucking face if you did that shit to me as well. Like, I'm just waiting on your what, you motherfucker? Smack, smack. Hell yeah.
Does that make sense? Like his reasoning for wanting to get beat up? Like,
no, that's fucking stupid.
Okay,
that's ridiculous.
That's what I thought too. But I wanted.
No, he's gonna walk in there like that, and then all the shit he thought he was gonna go through because of the clean face is gonna happen to him because they're gonna go, "Oh, you're a mark. Come here, dude."
Yeah, exactly. You're a pussy. You already got beat up.
I was say that's exactly what I'd say. You're gonna look like a bitch because you're already beat up, so they're just gonna beat you up even more.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense.
I mean, earlier it makes a lot more sense when he talks about Brandy mentioned it, going in jail and immediately go and beat up somebody. Like,
right.
There's some logic there.
If you like in jail, if you have a problem, just stand your ground immediately. Be willing to take a punishment for it. Like, it is what it is. It sucks. If you're going to be there for a long time, bro, you have to do things that you're not really willing to do in the outside world because it's a different world, different rules. Like, I know dudes they're like straight up like have like racist white power tattoos from prison, live in the hood, and they ain't got a single white friend. But when they're in there, it's a different world. And like, I don't understand it. I don't get it. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but I know how it works to a degree. So it's fucking awful, dude. No thanks, man. I'm glad I just am a normal, boring guy. Well, I wouldn't call myself normal or boring, I guess, but
I took the final beat up scene as just kind of last desperation move. He does feel like he kind of like feels a little sorry for himself. So he needs to feel something and
good point.
And take some sort of punishment. And it's just kind of like just a last
bro. You know what I thought was awesome about this, dude? My favorite part of the movie was when you find out that Rosario Dawson didn't snitch.
Right.
I had forgotten because it's been a long time since I saw this, and I literally was like, "Thank God, not the hot chick, dude. Let the fat piece of shit do it." Like, and then, but when they went in that room though, and the guy hands his gun off, I was like, "Oh, that's right. This dude's about to get murked, bro. Like, you did something wrong, buddy. They wouldn't call y'all both in there if like." I thought
it was funny. He called him like a fat Russian, and then he was like, "No, Ukrainian."
Bro, okay, their dialogue was awesome.
Yeah, it was.
Their dialogue was great, and that character was awesome. And then I felt bad for that guy because when he's saying like they didn't give me a choice, I also believe him. I also believe that he was in a position where he didn't have a choice, and it's like, well, dude, that's the game you play, man.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to take your family. They're like, oh, well, bro, you set up your family to get taken. That's on you. You don't rat people out. Like, man.
I mean, and Edward Norton has a kind of a similar moment, where he could have ratted that. Well, I forget his name, but the main drug dude.
Right. Well, that's what he tells him.
He tells the cops to fuck off, and
he's like, man, I didn't tell nobody on you, man. I'm in here, and he's like, I'm in here because of you, motherfucker. He's like, you let me think it was her, and I was like, ugh, that'll get you shot. That motherfucker ain't saving your life now, bro. Like, you let him think that was his girl, dude. Like, the whole movie, he thought it was her. He was like, oh, this bitch right here, and she's over here. I love you, and he's like, no, you don't. Like, man, that relationship was crazy, man. When those cops, that guy's my favorite,
I
bro.
love that guy.
Yeah, what's his name, Josh?
His name is She.
Oh, the actor?
Yeah. He's been in a bunch of Spike.
I've seen him. Yeah,
he's good.
Didn't he just pass away?
Isaiah Whitlock Jr.
I thought he passed away last year.
I know I've seen him in a bunch of other stuff.
He always has the same exact face and line in every movie.
Right.
It's like his catchphrase, bro.
This was the movie that it was launched in, though.
Probably. It's an old ass movie.
So, should he have gone to jail? Like, should he have just...
Shit, no. He should have gone with his dad. 7 years, bro? Catch me, motherfucker. Like, nah, dude. Like,
no, you get out in 3.5.
Bro, nope. Sorry, dude. I've been to county jail for long enough to know that I'd rather just risk it. If you're going to go for 7 anyways, may as well get an extra couple of tacked on. If you can get away, get away. Nah, bro. Fuck all that noise. If you got a plan, his dad's plan was pretty solid, bro. Like,
at the end.
Yeah, that was a solid plan, dude.
The new ID was where I was like, yeah, he's gonna get screwed. He's gonna live in the little desert town, and they're gonna find him. And then I was like, oh, he got a new ID. That's okay, right?
Like, I think there's plenty of places where you could just kind of be anonymous and get a good shitty cash job, and you ain't gonna be able to do like stuff like we do. You couldn't do a podcast, can't travel, but hey, you're not in jail because you can't do that shit there either. So
you could own a boat. You could boat it out into the ocean.
Let's go. Fuck it, dude. 2 tears in a bucket. I'll do that shit. I ain't trying to go in the ocean though. Fuck all that. I'll just go to jail. Dude, ocean is so scary to me, dude. Like if I can't see land, I'm gonna have a panic attack, dude.
It's not so bad.
Fuck that. Yeah, this movie was great, man. All the characters were awesome.
Yeah.
The story was good, man. It was just I kept like trying. I was gonna like listen to it once and then try to see like, okay, do I need to rewatch it? But I couldn't pay attention to nothing but the movie. I was like, I kept just looking over it. I was like, all right, dude, whatever. Turn this shit off and scoot back. Yeah, I had a good time, man.
It's very engaging for his like. It's not really much plot at all. It's all just character interactions.
It's character style and pacing. The pacing in it is good because there's always a conversation. There's always like a thought you're trying to figure out. Okay, what's he getting at? And you also feel this dude's pain from Jump Street, man. As soon as you know, this is his last day before jail. This is going to be a fun day probably and a very stressful day. And you're going to see some interesting interactions. And who's he got to talk to? I wonder who's coming next. And he keeps getting told by that Ukrainian cat, like, hey, my dude wants to speak to you. And as soon as you hear that, you're like, oh, he's going to postpone that as long as he possibly can because, you know, I think that guy just wanted to test his nuts and see if he's going to go in there and shut the fuck up, you know. I would have felt like I was going to get murdered anyways. Like, I'm going to go in there and get murdered because these guys aren't going to trust that I'm going to keep my mouth shut because in reality, nobody keeps their mouth shut.
Yeah. I mean, like, you don't think once he found out, like, Rosario Dawson didn't squeal on him, he was all right, fuck all y'all. And he should have actually spent some time with her before going into jail.
That was the only problem that I really had with his character is that he didn't spend more time with her because as soon as I found that out, I'd have jetted straight home.
That's what I mean.
I'd have been getting it in, bro. I'd have had all kinds of bro.
Right?
Bro.
Instead, he's got to go to the park and get beaten up for no reason.
Yeah.
When I said beat it up, I didn't mean that. You're like, motherfucker, what are you doing?
I'll be like, sorry, guys.
He was sitting there. He went back to the apartment and like basically, you know, apologizes to her.
And she's all pretty and cute in that little like fucking hoodie outfit. You're like, oh, you're hot too, man. What are you doing?
Yeah. Dumbass.
He's like, you smell all good, but I'm gonna go hang out with some dicks. Like, what?
Yeah. Bad idea. But yeah, everything else was good.
I like the whole idea too, of him just like not wanting to be around the people he's been being around for so long. Like these friends of his like are people he hasn't really even seen for a long time or doesn't even really associate with anymore. But
see, I got the opposite feeling. I thought he wanted to be around them and not the people he's around all the time because he's around.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry.
Maybe I said it poorly.
No, I just misunderstood you, bro. It's on me.
Yeah, it was like the line when they get to the club where he says, you know, champagne for my real friends and real pain for my sham friends.
Like, I've been saying that shit for 25 years since I saw it in this movie. That's a toast we do at shows all the time.
Really?
I've been saying this shit forever, dude. Yeah. I know that I've seen it on at least one shirt. I've seen it on tattoos. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it speaks to the whole like premise of the movie, though. It's like, I don't want to be around these people. These are the people that got me into this situation. Like, let me just try and like go back to when I was a kid for a minute.
Bro, I felt bad for his dad.
Yeah.
They're eating at the restaurant. Bro, if I'm going to jail tomorrow, I probably ain't eating nothing, dude. I'm not
They didn't even really eat.
That's what I'm saying. So his dad's like, hey, eat your food. I'm like, bro, let him just walk, man. There's no I'd be like, I take one bite, just be like, blah, like Dude, going to the doctor makes me not want to eat, bro.
I think Brian Cox was my favorite character. Like what you said about just him going with his dad. I was like, that's a pretty good idea. I hang out with Brian Cox for the rest of my life. Well,
right. No, he's like, I haven't drank in 2 years, but I'll have a drink with my boy. I was like, my motherfucking dude. Like,
I love that whole like fantasy sequence at the end when the movie ended because it ends kind of abruptly,
which I also liked.
Yeah, I like it. I like it too, but it was so abrupt. I was like, okay, I gotta watch it again. So I rewound it like 10 minutes and just watched the last section again.
Yeah, it was a long sequence. It was like 15 minutes or.
It's probably a good 10-minute sequence. Yeah, it goes through like his whole like plan.
Oh, that's what I loved about it is that you get to see it visually, the whole thing, and then you're like, and then they go, nope, he's still in the car sleeping.
I think they go through it so long on purpose to make you think like, oh, maybe this is like how it will turn out.
Oh, he really did it, and he gets her at the end, and she gets off the bus, and as soon as they get hugged, and then it like fades into it, like transitions into him in the car still, and you're like, oh, this fucking idiot, dude.
No, like he even like has a bunch of kids and stuff. That was
that's right.
That's when I was like, okay, no, this is definitely fantasy sequence.
Right.
It's like 7 kids or something,
and they all look like half Mexican. You're like, that looks a little bit like
Puerto Rican.
Oh yeah,
Puerto Rican. Yeah,
I'm sorry, dude.
But
I liked when she got the tattoo, and he was like, "What is that? What does this mean? You've been
there twice.
Been to Puerto Rico on vacation." Like,
hey, I so understand both of their points because I've got an Irish flag on my forearm, and I've never been to Ireland. I get that shit covered up.
On my back, I've never been to Germany.
Posers.
Hey man, I get called a poser every day, Chris. It's all right.
Yeah.
I literally got called a poser yesterday. It was hilarious.
That's not surprising.
I don't give a shit.
Just
I'm like, you're calling me a poser on the internet. How old are you, bro? Like, fuck off, nerd.
Oh, he's probably 12. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, based on what he said, I think he's probably older than me.
Oh, could be that way too.
Yeah. I was like, what, dude? Why are you so
all these
mad?
old young whippersnappers? They're all posers.
Well, he just made a weird comment about something that I don't even think it was accurate. I was just like, okay, so I just gave him like the little face emoji back in return and was like, all right, just keep pushing. I don't, dude. That shit does not bother me, man. I don't care.
Yeah. If it does, then you shouldn't be on the internet. That's
well, it used to drive me nuts on the other channel a little bit because I was trying so hard, but over here, like I just don't care, man. I'm doing my thing. People like it, and I'm good. There's good. Not anywhere you do anything is 100% of the people going to like it. So I am okay with that. So 100%. This movie was fucking awesome, man. Good pick, dude.
Yeah, great pick, Clay. I know you were a little on the fence about picking it, but
oh man.
I think that flaws and all, it made for a good discussion.
For sure,
good movie.
Yeah.
You all had seen it before. I hadn't. It's been on my list for a long time, but
yeah, it's been 20 years for me. I forgot more than I remember.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that's like Clay said though, it's kind of buried. Like you don't see it ever pop up on like a streaming service like Netflix or something. It's available to rent, right? But it's only got a DVD.
I had to search it out though. It wasn't even like I had to like literally like type most of it out to get it even to pop up. It's not a big film,
right? But I've heard people talk about it, in film communities a lot. Like people like this movie. It's just like, I for whatever reason they don't want to promote it anymore. I guess.
Yeah. I mean, is this like a Weinstein movie or something like that? Like how
based on that playground scene, you maybe.
Just depends on the rights. It might just be a rights thing, or who knows what.
It's probably something like that.
Probably.
It could be.
It's. I mean, this is like early exposure for Seymour Hoffman to me. I was like, that guy's really good. And yeah, I didn't know who he was. And
you want to hear, dude? Sorry.
Before The Devil Knows You're Dead came out, and I was like, damn, like that was crazy. So he had some like really killer roles, but I wasn't aware of him so much, in 2002, I guess.
Sorry. God,
it really that's something kind of special for me about the movie is that it has the Hoff in it, and I really like his character here because I can be introverted and drawn in and stare at my shoes and shit when I'm walking around. So
yeah, I unfortunately relate it a little bit to him too.
I don't want to sit there in that freaking club. So yeah, definitely.
I would be so awkward in that situation too. Like, just don't touch me, leave me alone.
Well, that's where we all cross over. Like, I may talk a lot to people, but I don't want to go to clubs, dude. I don't like that shit.
I love when he's talking to Anna Paquin and she's like, "You like Dusk or whatever?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm a big fan. I prefer his earlier
works." I was like, "Oh."
It's like that's some stupid shit that I would say, like just to like try and change the subject.
It's a good line about any music. I mean, you could probably throw that out in most situations, and it could apply.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. I was going to say about Philip Seymour Hoffman. I love him. My early exposure from him is Along Came Polly, though. And then,
sure.
and then I realized that I was like, oh, he's not like a comedic actor. I didn't know that. I didn't know he was like a serious actor. And so I fell in love with him because he did something that made me laugh. And I was like, oh, I like this guy. He's funny. And then I found out, oh my God, this dude's like a really like top-notch actor. And then over the years, I became a big fan of his. And
he's got some. He got some early like comedy roles. I think that was some of my first exposure to him was, something dumb and comedic.
Right. It's a lot of like small bit parts and stuff. Even in like Boogie Nights, he's sort of kind of a goofy character.
Yeah.
Or like Twister, like he's a kind of a goofy guy in Twister.
Yes, dude. Shout out Twister. Please close the door, fucker.
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
I love Twister, bro.
He did a lot of like little part. I was just looking through his stuff, like because he didn't really get big until around this time. Like he's when he really took off.
Have y'all seen Along Came Polly?
I don't think so.
I think.
Okay, so I have a soft spot for rom-coms. Okay, it is what it is.
It's that Jennifer Aniston, Ben Stiller one.
Ben Stiller, yeah, dude, he's playing basketball and he's got like the headband on and like the long socks, and he's
the sharded thing.
Yes, dude, but he's fucking terrible at basketball, but he insists on playing anyways, and he just. I was laughing so hard because I was like, dude, get off the court, man. Even I wanted to get off the fucking court. Yeah, he tells the guy, he's like, oh, just sharted. And the guy's like, what? And he goes, we try to fart, a little shit comes out, bro. I literally spit my drink on the fucking bed that I was sitting in. I was like, what is fucking going on with this?
That's where that came from, right?
Yeah.
I thought that was from that movie.
Yeah, it is. That shit is funny, dude. That movie's so dumb, but it's a good time, man.
I'm not sure if I've ever seen it all the way through, but it's like probably one I've seen parts on cable.
I like the breakup. I like all those old 2000s rom-coms, dude. I was like, you know what it was? Is I was
just have a Jennifer Aniston thing, huh?
Freshly broken up with and very, very lonely, and I was like, I want to be happy. Matthew McConaughey, fuck yeah, dude.
Sure. That's when all the rom-coms died too. They don't even make those anymore.
I mean, with good reason. Let's be honest. I like them, but they're ass. Like
a lot of them are pretty bad. That's true.
Failure to Launch. Have you seen that shit? Good God.
No, I have not.
Me neither. Me neither.
Yeah. You just love Matthew McConaughey, don't you?
I do, man. That fucking guy's awesome, man.
I like him too, but not that much. All right.
Hey, hold on. Before we go into next week stuff, I have to take 2 weeks off.
Okay.
Next week, since my birthday's on Monday, I'm not gonna have time to watch a movie, and I gotta film a bunch of stuff to drop while I'm out of town for 6 days. And I almost didn't even think about that. I thought about it yesterday. I was like, oh shit.
Actually, I was gonna ask y'all because next week is spring break, and I've got stuff going on too. So why don't we'll just postpone it 2 weeks then?
Sure.
Well, it's gonna have to be because I'm coming back on Tuesday. I'm gonna be gone Thursday through Tuesday. So if we can do it resume on the 25th, that would be really helpful to me. Or if y'all want to just do one of them without me, that's fine too. Whatever. It's not a big deal.
So
whose pick is it right now?
It's my pick.
It is your pick. Okay, that's what I thought.
So that would be 3 weeks.
So if you want to pick a movie and then do one without me, and then or maybe I can watch it on the plane or something. I'll try, but obviously no guarantees. But
yeah, understood.
And then my pick is after that, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll just come up with something either way. So yeah, if you just want to skip 1 week, plan something, throw me a movie or whatever, and then I'll try to watch it. And if I can't, I can't. I'm not going to make it a big deal.
Okay. Well, I'm going to pick something I'm pretty sure that you've seen. So,
okay, that makes it a little easier.
In memory of Gene Hackman passing, I figured we should hit one of his bangers. And then Chris said he had never seen any of his movies, so I was like,
any of them? I don't really understand that.
I mean, I've seen one.
I'm not going to get into that.
It just seems so unlikely
because I've been racking my brain like, which one do I pick? Because he's one of my favorites.
It's going to be the one Chris has seen.
No, I know which one he's seen. Because we did it on the show before.
Wait, which one was that?
Royal Tenenbaums.
Oh, good. I don't want to watch that movie, so thank God.
Man,
Yeah,
you missed the hack.
Dude, I was looking through. Yeah, I was looking through his film. I mean, I obviously know like a large chunk.
You've never
of
seen
them.
The French Connection?
Nope.
I
Dude, I didn't grow up with like parents that watched movies like y'all, so
Yeah.
I wasn't lying when I said all I really watched was like Beavis and Butthead and Ren and Stimpy and shit. I didn't watch any. I didn't really watch movies until I hit high school. So like, and really even then, like just kind of action
comedies,
normie
and
stuff,
Yeah.
whatever, really wasn't my thing. I think I was watching horror movies and dumb
See,
comedies and.
I feel like I realized like the past few years that I grew up just watching like TNT reruns my whole life. So
Me too.
Everything that came on TNT or AMC or any of those like cable rerun channels, I've watched all those.
USA Up All Night.
All of it. Yeah. So Hackman movies are like staples on those channels. Yeah, like, they're always on.
True.
Yeah. So yeah, even like not even. I've seen it a long time ago on TNT and forgot everything about it. Like,
right.
I literally have seen hardly any of his movies.
That's crazy.
Well, dude, you've got. I mean, you these are some good movies. The guys.
Yeah, you've got like a whole
material.
list of like good stuff to watch. Like,
hit us. What?
Well,
enlighten me.
I'm gonna hit a big one because you've never seen it, but let's do Unforgiven.
Go.
Oh yeah.
Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, Clint Eastwood. So he's not the main character in it. I was like really debating on whether I wanted to do, French Connection or one of the like his big movies, but I think this is one of the great ones. So, and we've never really talked. We haven't talked too many westerns and too much Clint Eastwood too, so it's good.
Well, spoiler alert! I've got a Hackman movie lined up too.
Okay,
so.
Great.
Bat 21.
Yeah, obviously got a lot to catch up on.
Yeah, well, I got one that probably wouldn't be picked by Josh or Clay. So
okay,
that's why I'm picking it.
Originally, I was thinking about picking like Crimson Tide or something because that's just badass.
That's what I was hoping it would be.
That's just a badass movie, like him and Denzel Washington.
That's a better pick than Unforgiven.
No, it's not.
What? Unforgiven is one of my all-time favorite movies, like Western.
It's a good movie.
I
like Denzel Washington a lot, though. I'm like kind of a stand for that guy. He's like my second favorite actor.
I was feeling bad last night, and I was like, you know what I need? I need to watch a Denzel movie because I just want to see somebody just fuck some shit up.
So what did you pick?
I didn't watch anything.
You didn't watch anything?
I knew that's what was coming out of his mouth.
So it's on deck then.
Equalizer 3.
It was going to be Man on Fire, but I've seen Man on Fire.
Bro, it should be Crimson Tide then. Go do the hack. Denzel double.
That's a great movie. I should watch that.
Dude, that movie is so much better than you remember. It's awesome. I'm gonna watch that.
I always get it mixed up with Red October. I'm always like, yeah, Alec Baldwin though, and I'm like, well,
yeah, I love that movie, but actually, I wish it was Harrison Ford.
Oh, he's so awesome! I love Harrison Ford. He hates everything.
He plays that same character in the other Jack Ryan movies. Yeah. I wish he would have been in that one, but that's a great movie otherwise. Alec Baldwin's pretty good. He's not bad. Good. But
dude, did you see him in court whenever they I guess called whatever on his case about the girl that he accidentally shot? Like, I felt like real feelings for that man when they said they were dismissing the case on like grounds that something wasn't done. No. He was absolved of any wrongdoing because of the whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
Dude, he like just breaks out into tears.
Oh,
like he
was really fucked up by it.
Oh, dude, you could just see his face. He was just like you're just like, oh, I feel like, can you imagine accidentally doing that to somebody, bro? Like I'm so glad that it has nothing to do with my life. I don't want to be around that.
I'm always worried. Like, I think that would just break you financially on top of it. Like all the legal bills that you would pay for that shit to like not go to jail.
I don't know. He's pretty wealthy.
Not to mention it just define the rest of your life.
Oh yeah.
He's the actor that that accidentally killed somebody.
Ain't nobody gonna be in a movie with you got a gun in your hand. They're like, nah, fuck that. Give him
I don't think he would do a movie with a gun in his hand anyway.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think he would at this point. But even so, like, who's ever going to look at him?
Guns.
Who's going to ever look at him the same way? Like, he's always going to be the guy that kills somebody on a set. You know,
every cinematographer is walking around with bulletproof vests on, looking like 50 Cent in 2002.
Nobody wants to go to jail for something they did at work like that.
Oh, dude, I've seen many coworkers arrested at work. That shit's hilarious. Well, not so many, like 3 or 4, but that's a lot.
Yeah, it kind of is. I don't think I've seen
That's
anybody arrested.
A lot. That's a lot more than I have.
2 of them were at Sprint, if that tells you anything.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, man.
Do not call this violation.
Oh, dude, it was like most of it was drug stuff.
Oh, yeah, makes sense. All right, you guys want to mention anything you watched from last week or?
Oh, yes, I watched Fat Russell Crowe. It was amazing. I haven't watched. I watched
a movie.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the title.
Oh, dude, that's what. Every movie he's in for the next 5 years.
He's a YouTube video. Fat Russell Crowe. It's his new channel.
People tell me I look like Russell Crowe, so when I see Fat Russell Crowe, I'm like,
no, you don't.
Yeah, I don't think you look like Russell Crowe at all. But I watched Unhinged again, and I forgot how much I love that fucking movie, dude. That might be my favorite Russell Crowe movie. Period.
That movie's insane.
It's amazing, dude.
Yeah, we saw that together. It's crazy.
Dude, I love that movie, dude. I love that movie. It's so stupid.
I never got around to it. I should watch it.
Oh, dude, it's amazing. From like the first 5 minutes, you're like, oh, it's gonna be one of these movies. It's absolutely fucking bananas, dude. Like, it's okay.
It's falling down, but like,
yes, it's like that. But like, if you were like, hey, let's do Falling Down, but also a horror movie. Like, it's like. Dude, it's
with the right expectation, it works.
Yeah, dude. Like at the coffee shop, dude, that shit is so nuts, dude. Like, yes, I watched that. It was awesome. And then I watched half of like that new Godzilla King Kong movie that came out, the one where they're like they go into the earth or whatever.
Sure.
Fuck that garbage. That shit is absolutely terrible, man.
Did somebody like tie you down and like?
Did I hang out with a fucking 4-year-old, man? Like, Parker was like, "Oh, monsters," and I was like, "All right, well, that means you." I'm like, "Will you stop?" Oh, actually, he goes, "Why is that guy so angry?" And I was like, "Let's watch." And I hit the trailer, and he goes, "Let's watch this." And I went, "All right." I watched it with Parker.
Nice,
awesome,
dude. That kid's a gangster, bro. He'll watch anything like that. He's like, "Can we watch Scary Clown tonight?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "Vampire." I'm like, "Okay."
He saw Russell Crowe and said monster.
He said, "Why is that guy so angry?" And then I was like, so I hit the trailer and he was like, "Let's watch it."
No, I know. I was making a joke.
Scary truck guy.
Yeah,
that's what he calls him.
I watched a few things.
Go for
I watched Real Pain last night. I think it was an Oscar nominee or winner.
Kieran Culkin
and Jesse Eisenberg. It was decent. It was okay. I wouldn't
hate that.
Certainly wouldn't say like rush to watch it or anything. Conclave, I watched that. I wouldn't recommend that to really anybody. It's a movie. It's good, but it's like it's slow. It's political. It's Catholic. Deep in the Holy See. I mean, nobody's really like, oh, I know what's happening with the Pope and the Pope choice. Like, okay, whatever. And then the monkey, I saw that. Sheesh.
He's fucking ass, dude.
I saw Blink twice. I thought that was terrible. So
Blink twice.
Rough.
Oh yeah, that's a pretty bad movie.
It was. Oh, and the crown jewel, the new Crow.
Why'd you watch that?
Somebody tie you down too?
Same question. Yeah.
Somebody
like forcing.
Someone I see the monkey. I mean,
Monkey's fucking terrible. The movie's ass, dude.
I do want to watch it. I mean, it seems like people either love it or hate. I mean, I think you and Josh are kind of in the middle, but we'll see. I'll watch it. I don't know if I'll
you'll think it's just fine. Like if you just sit on your couch and just relax, you can laugh at it. It's not bad.
Take some drugs first. You might enjoy it more.
Yeah, it might be the correct path. So I heard an interview with Oz Perkins the other day, and he was for one thing, he was referencing Creepshow, which made sense to me because it is sort of a more of a family friendly thing. And he, at the end of it, he was like, I really do think I kind of made like a kids movie in a weird way. And I was like, that actually makes a lot of sense. Because it feels like Creepshow in a lot of ways.
Well, like I said, dude, it felt like Final Destination meets Goosebumps. It does feel like a kids movie, and I don't like kids movies. So
you like Creepshow?
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. Creepshow's pretty good.
Creepshow is fucking 7 times better than this movie, though. I mean, Creepshow is a classic.
It's still got Stephen King vibes, and to me, like some of those Stephen King movies are just terrible movies. So when I see one and I see the little green ooze of the king ooze seeping into my screen, I'm like, dude, I see you coming, Steven.
Okay.
I don't even know what that meant, but it was amazing.
I'm real confused.
It's just hokey freaking Jordy Verrill bullshit. It's that. I mean, ugh.
I 100% agree with that. That's my whole issue with that movie. Is it was just like, if they did it on purpose, that's fine, but it was still stupid. Like they did it on purpose,
better
though.
Than Jordy Verrill, though. It was good, but it still felt like Stephen King to me, and that's what I'm saying. It drives me nuts. I'm sorry.
Okay, Josh.
Fair,
dude. Hey, since we're talking about Stephen King, I'm gonna pivot over to books. Did any of y'all read any kind of like horror stuff outside of Stephen King?
I started. Josh and I both.
Oh, good point.
Josh and I both started different books, but by the same author, and I think we both quit.
What's his?
You quit too?
What's the name?
The author's name is Nick Cutter.
Oh, I've read some Nick Cutter. I think. Hold on, let me see. What books was it? Do you know?
I was reading The Deep.
I don't recognize that one.
Are you looking for a new book?
No, I read. Okay, so you ever heard of Jack Ketchum?
No.
Anybody? No.
Is that a Pokemon character?
Yes. How'd you know that?
Catch them all.
VMAX Zoom Extra.
It's all shiny. The whole book is fucking holographic. No, so there's I watched some lists of like great horror books, and then I got into this other list of like disturbing books, and I was like, I want to see if these people can disturb me with their books. And these people, I watched like 7 different people, and they all said, The Girl Next Door, bro. That book is fucked up. I'm a little concerned because I didn't really get bothered by much of it. And I would think that if one of y'all read that and then heard me say I wasn't bothered by much of it, that would probably bother you, because there's some fucking gnarly stuff in this book. But I guess I'm just desensitized to a degree. It's kind of.
I got a book for you.
Good. Send it my way.
It's called Daddy Was the Black Dahlia Killer.
Fuck.
And it's written, like co-written by this woman who's got multiple personalities. Her dad was supposedly the Black Dahlia Killer. They have like orgies and crazy Hollywood shit and conspiracies and moonchilds and like all kinds of just
that sounds fun,
freaky stuff. And it's supposedly a true story.
Well,
like L. Ron Hubbard connections.
Oh my goodness,
dude!
Goddamn.
Well, this book is called The Girl Next Door, and I'll give you a very quick summary, and we'll get out of here. It's about this kid. It's told from the perspective of a boy who's like, I think he's like 12, and I need to re-listen to it, but it's pretty gnarly, man. And he has like, there's like a neighborhood of kids, and next door to this boy is a friend of his. His mom basically inherits these 2 little girls for, I guess, the summer, while her mom's doing some kind of work stuff. Their dad's not in the picture, right? And they're all friends. It's very Stand By Me, with the young kids being all camaraderie and stuff. And then all of a sudden, the mom, or the neighbor friend's mom, just starts abusing this girl. The mom, bro, and doing wild shit, dude. Like, and it's not what you think necessarily. It gets to some weird shit, but it's like she's basically like letting the boys beat the shit out of this girl, she's like putting cigarettes out on her, like hitting her with an iron, and it's like
I don't think I'll read that one.
Yeah, no, it's wild, bro. So, but it's told from the perspective of this boy, and the part that bothered me was that the boy keeps justifying some of the actions and then acting like he's a hero because he was there, but he didn't do anything because he's in love with this girl. It's an insane book. I'll give him that. But like, yeah, man, I was just curious if anybody's ever heard of this Jack Ketchum dude, because apparently he writes like pretty wild books, and it's like not uncommon. And he's what's that one guy's name? I think he wrote No Country for Old Men. No, God damn it,
Cormac McCarthy.
Yes, is that the same guy?
Yeah.
Did he write No Country for Old Men?
Yes.
What was the other one he wrote?
Blood Meridian.
Blood Meridian. Okay, yes. So that guy is like this dude's favorite author, and it's so obvious that he's like inspired by like absolutely insane shit happening. Because I don't know, have you read Blood Meridian?
I've read part of it. I haven't finished it yet.
Yeah, that book is amazing. It's fucking amazing. I want an actual copy of the book. I've only listened to it. I haven't read it on paper, but I don't know. I don't read a lot, and I went through this book in like 2 days because it's messed up. Like there was parts where I felt kind of like, oh, I need to get past this part, and I would like read it at like 1.5 speed because I was just like I needed to get. But it's captivating, man. It's fucked up because I feel like people like this exist. That's my point. But
right, yeah, and if it sounds like it's putting you in the head of someone who's sort of just letting it happen too,
dude.
That's not good.
Yeah, it's wild, man. It's a wild story. And the very end of the story, like y'all aren't gonna read this book, right? There's no reason that I'd have to think y'all will read this.
I don't know. I think I'm good.
Okay, so the end of the story is so fucking not what you think's gonna happen. It's like. The reason that I read it was because the last dude that I heard talk about it said, and then it ends on like a down note. And I was like, wait, what? And because, you're thinking most books that I've ever read, they end on either like a, I don't know, conclusion to something or like a happier ending. And it's like, it just keeps getting worse. And then when it ends, like nobody pays for anything. Like the mom, the mother ultimately goes to jail.
Are you telling us the end of the book?
Yeah. You said you're not going to read it.
Well, somebody might.
An hour and 15 minutes into this? Are you serious?
Spoiler alert.
Bro.
Josh can put a little thing on the screen.
Dude, I was assuming this was probably going to get leaked out of here. Whatever. Anyways, the book's fucking gnarly, dude. Read the book anyways. I don't know if you'll make it through the book.
I already know the end now.
I'm saving you the trouble, I promise. I don't think anybody that I know would have made it to the end of this book because the people that were talking about it, all of them said it like affected them to a degree that they won't reread it. And they're all like, they got giant libraries behind them and shit. They reread books and stuff. But yeah, I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah,
it affected me. Do what?
Yeah, kid torture. I'm good. That would probably affect me.
Yeah, the fact that it was kids doing it was what was like I couldn't get over it, man. I was like, who the fuck? Like kids are shitty, I guess, man.
Yeah, I guess something didn't like click for you, I guess, with it.
No. Like, what do you mean?
Just in the fact that this got fucked up shit in it. Just didn't quite connect.
No, I was just like it was fucked up and it was gnarly, but like I expected to be far more bothered based on these people's descriptions of it, but I don't know.
Sounds like it bothered you.
Maybe it did. I tell you what, I didn't have no nightmares or nothing like that, which typically is a sign of me being pretty bothered by it. I was just like fucking. It's more or less that I was just like, y'all gotta hear this shit, like more than it like bothered me. Like I don't know.
I mean, it sounds pretty wild.
Sounds awful, man.
Yeah. I mean, thanks for the warning. I'll avoid it.
Yeah, it's about this girl next door. It's a love story.
Yeah, that movie with
Macaulay Culkin. Oh, yes.
Timothy Oliphant or something.
Yeah, and what's that other?
Anna Paquin.
Yeah.
Is Anna Paquin in that?
Is she in that?
I haven't actually seen that movie.
Emil Hirsch, I think. Is who I was
oh man, if
about.
Anna Paquin was the girl getting fucked up, good. I was kidding. I'm kidding.
All right, next week we're watching
2 weeks, 3
Unforgiven.
weeks?
2 weeks. Y'all have a good night. Bye.
This is out of control.